right, Pat, thanks. And more local coverage now. Rhode Island Congressman David Cicilline is in our studio now. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Great to be here.
All right, let's begin first with the latest on that tragedy in Taunton. Obviously, we've been following the story for almost a week now, bringing mental health issues to the forefront. What is Congress going to do to tackle the issue?
Well, this is another example of where we have to be certain that people who need treatment and need intervention have access to that treatment, and that medical professionals have the ability to properly identify folks who have mental health needs. We remove the stigma. So part of it is about resources, part of it is about good training. There's obviously a lot of stuff still developing in this particular case, but we have got to deal with this issue of mental health and make sure that individuals who need treatment, who need intervention, have access to it.
Another big issue we are seeing in the news almost every day, sadly, dealing with the opioid crisis, specifically fentanyl area. We have seen a lot of overdose illnesses and deaths as a result. Again, what is Congress planning to do to tackle that specific issue?
We actually last week we passed 18 bills that were really all focused on this opioid crisis.
Yeah.
In Rhode Island, we've lost 1,000 Rhode Islanders in the last 5 years. This fentanyl issue is a really serious public health crisis because it's 40 times more powerful. It's mixed with heroin, and it's much more likely to cause death. So it's about making sure, again, there's access to treatment, making sure that we're dealing with overprescription of opioid painkillers in the medical profession and having good training to prevent that, making sure that we're coordinating services, and making sure first responders have access to life-saving antidotes. All those things were the subjects of what Congress passed last week. The governor announced a great set of proposals here for Rhode Island, but we've all got to work together. This is a serious public health crisis.
Late last week, the president came out with a mandate, so to speak, addressing public schools and how they handle transgender students and their accessibility to bathrooms. Tell us more about what's going on in Capitol Hill with that issue.
That's an issue which Rhode Island has already resolved because we already have a law that protects that. The president's directive is that students be allowed to use the bathroom consistent with their gender identity. A very simple proposition. That's already the law in Rhode Island. We have a piece of legislation I've authored called the Equality Act that will prohibit discrimination against people based on sexual orientation or gender identity, employment, public accommodations, housing, jury service, a comprehensive bill. I don't expect this Congress is going to take that up, but that's the answer, to prohibit discrimination, period.
All right, and here in Rhode Island, you have some stops planned, including today in North Providence, right?
Yes, I had community conversation yesterday in North Providence, but we have an upcoming Senior Resources Fair on May 26th at 5 p.m. at the East Providence Senior Center, where we will have caregivers, information for caregivers and seniors, nutrition programs, housing information, Medicare, Social Security, a great place to come and get lots of information that's important to seniors and their caregivers.
All right, we appreciate you joining us, addressing most of those issues with us. And if you'd like to see the interview with David Cicilline on our website, you can do so at WPRI.com.